I feel like I'm starting chapter 3 of this fall trip to the cabin. First 8 or 9 days we're doing some chores, getting some cleaned up, some things, wood cleaned up, clearings made. That was the first part. Weather was pretty good. Then my sister and her friend showed up. And it went really well. Unlike fish, they didn't go bad in 3 days. In fact, they were getting better all the time. We had a really good time. But they've headed back for Illinois. She got a checklist. She got a lot of things checked off and got to see Hawks Pond, and she got to see the spruce grouse, and she fed the Canada jays, and she heard the wolves howl. Had a trumpeter swan take off right in front of us one day, so that whole part of the trip went really well. So now that ended phase 2 of the trip. Now this is phase 3. Now you can see behind me, yeah, that's snow coming down. I think it's October the 11th. It really hasn't even frosted up here yet, but yet it's getting ready to. Another day or two we're going to drop down to about 25 degrees Fahrenheit. It's well below freezing for getting a good hard frost. There's been no bugs or anything though, so things have been going really well. Now I get the cabin put back in order for solo living with 3 of us around. Of course the chairs were all arranged differently and it was just a different program, but now it's time to get back into the solo groove. As I sit here, after having had guests around for a couple days, it's nice. I like having company around. We had a great time, but there's just something about being here at this cabin alone that's, well, I like it. And that reminded me, quite a few years ago, one of my cabin partners here, Jim, he had a high pressure job worked himself up he was the police chief. So when he came up here, he really enjoyed kind of just kicking back and just no stress. But he'd come up with me, and then whenever I went to do something, he'd be with me. Well, what are we going to do today, Marty? What are we going to do? Let's go do this. Let's go do that. Well, we'd been here a long enough time, enough years, different times, and so there one morning he had a fire going outside, and it was probably about 9 in the morning, maybe late winter, early spring, so most of the snow was gone. But he had that fire going, and so I knew he couldn't leave the cabin site with that fire going. And so it was a good opportunity, and I told him, I said, Jim, I'm going for a walk, and I'll be back by the time it gets dark, but I'll be gone all day. And so he had that fire going, so he couldn't go, and all right, I'll be here. Well, I went off, and I had a good time wandering around, and had some good things going on that day, and I got back that night, and it got dark, and we're sitting here in the cabin, and he kind of broke the silence, and he says, Marty, when you left this cabin site this morning, he said, it was different. And he hesitated a second, and he said, and I liked it. Well, he hasn't been up here a lot with me since. He comes on his own. He'll come and he'll tag on at the end of a trip of mine, but I don't blame him. It's just nice being here alone. Once you know the ropes, you know your way around. It's just a really nice place to spend some alone time. Not for everybody, but for those that like it, can't be beat. Come on down, Mr. Jays. Come on down. Yeah, come on over. Come on over. Parties, here it is. Yeah, it's up here. Come on. Yeah. Oh boy, that's nice. Yeah, here it is. We're on our own now. Company's all gone. So just you and me and a few of your others. We'll make it. It's October 12th. We had those little snow flurries yesterday when I got back after dropping my guest off back at their vehicle, and it dropped down to right at the freezing point. So the snow has managed to hang on to the trees, so we have a little bit of a winter scene showing. Not surprising to me at all for this time of year. The spruce grouse are coming in. We have 3 out there now, but I'm expecting a lot more before it's over. I need to break the news to my Canada Jays that I'm going to repurpose their sewing machine feeding station. I can feed him here in the rock just outside the door threshold, but I think a better idea is going to be to realize that from my rocking chair with the wood stove, if I look out the west window, I can see that water pump and the little platform that's out there. I think that's going to become their official feeding station now. I thought it might make a pretty good morning for the spruce grouse. Something about the cold, a little bit of snow on the ground, it seems to really wake them up to the fact that they need grit. Around October 12th, we get a lot of this. Boy, this guy's coming right in. Something about the... Oh, Gray Jay surprised him. Got a little competition going on here. I guess there's enough space for all if he moves away. The spruce grouse will come walking down the path, and somehow they spot these bigger rocks up here by the cabin door, and then they just come trotting across fast. Somehow they must know that means a little better stuff. When they get here, it's the same stuff's out there, but I usually have a really good excuse for not doing the dishes every day because I say, oh, we're always low on water. Well, we've gotten about 4 inches of rain on a pretty steady pace. So I can't use that excuse because even the water bucket out there coming off of the little eaves trough, every time I go out there, it's brimming full. I'm going to be dumping water this time. Put the cups back away. Company's gone. One last pot of the pan collection. An outdoor teacup hangs up. Pancake mix bowl. Ready for next time. Coffee strainer's all cleaned up. Getting ready time for a hike. I couldn't pass up the chance to come out in a morning like this and check out the view on Hawks Pond. One trumpeter swan sitting out here. I've been trying to come up with a creative way to use that sewing machine base from Sven's cabin. And I've also for years, I've known about this over here from the old logging camp kitchen. This is off their big camp cook stove oven. That right here is, that's just the door off the oven. But I'm thinking that maybe this will make a nice tabletop for Sven's sewing machine. I brought my backpack along. It's going to be uncomfortable, but I'm going to get it over there. Check it out on this rainy day. And here, this is kind of cool. Everybody in my canoeing circles, they always talk about cold handle frying pans. And it's made, the way it's made with thin metal and hollow, that handle is always cold. Never a hot skillet. Well, this pan's got holes in it, but I was tickled when I saw that this is a old cold handle frying pan from the old days. And there's two of these. There's a lid missing, but maybe I can figure out a way to make a picture frame out of it later. I would have brought these back a long time ago if I knew how painless it was going to be. I was expecting a mile walk with jamming my back the whole way, but it rode really nice. Now let's see if it's going to fit. I'm going to get dried off and have something hot to drink here. It's kind of chilly out there. But I've been waiting too long to do this, so I want to see if it's going to even, oh my. We may have a winner here. Yeah. I'm thinking this can set right back next to this cupboard. And the shoe thing down here, here's a, you know, we're trying to utilize all our space, so we have a shoe rack here. These old grates I put in here off of another stove. Might just make a simple shelf. A little tub can fit there. And they got a little more tabletop over here, iron, so a hot pan or anything could be set on it. So I may change my mind later, but I think this is going to work.